Hey guys, this is Slifer Maniac 89, and today I'm going to introduce my Yami bakura deck profile. It has been a little bit longer time that I was abstinent and not present. Had a lot of things to do, and a lot of work, sports, and such things, studying. So now I'm going straight to the point. He's one of my favorite characters from the first arc, in which Yugi, Kaiba, Joey, and all these guys are present. And Yami bakura was, especially in the second Battle City arc, he was very present, and he had a very sinister amount of monsters as well as magic spell and trap cards. He was one of the more sinister characters besides Merrick and an Odeon and some guys like that. Right, I would say he was, as it later developed, one of the fearsome guys, mostly of the whole Yugi arc. So let's begin. He had several monsters, and he had a special preference for fiend type monsters. So we go first of all. That was the Earthbound Spirit. Earthbound Spirit had 500 attack and 2000 defense. Was an earth monster, as the name says it already. And it was a good possibility to build up his defense. It was very defensively strong, 2000 defense. So yeah, you could build a good defense wall. Then Soul of the Forgotten, that was one of his weaker vanilla monsters. It had 900 attack and 200 defense, but not much to say about it. The Portrait Secret, it was one of these cards which Yugi used in his duel against Yugi, as well as the other previous twos. Lady of the Faith, that was one of his monsters he used in the Duelist Kingdom era, but still I put it into this deck since he used it all this time. Not so many monsters as some then up, then you will get to 20 monsters and all that he used and all his appearances, so I put this also in his deck. Then Ghost of Fled Dreams. That was all vanillas he used against Yugi. As I already mentioned, he used the Lady of the Faith in the Duelist Kingdom arc, and the other ones that I placed now he used in the Battle City arc. Headless Knight, that was one of the monsters that he used against Yugi, but also against I think Bones and his guys on the cemetery. Melkit, the Four-Faced Beast, that was a card he especially did not use, but he had it in his hand against the Forbidden Duel against Yami Merrick. He had this placed in his card in his hand, but he didn't use that at all. Earl of the Demise, that was one of his famous monsters that he did take and play very often. He played it in the Battle City arc many times, and also in Dawn of the Duel, the last arc where Yugi and his companions are there. So yeah, used it, that one too. And this had this just one tribute in 2000 attack and 700 defense, so not that bad. So to his vanillas, there was all of his vanilla monsters that he used during his time in Battle City and in the other arcs. Then Jaugen the Spiritist. This one he did use in the duel against Yugi in the Battle City arc. So that one he was one of his trump cards that he brought in as Yugi was about to beat him with just very few stats, 280k and 1300 defense, but it has a good effect. So yeah, it did come in handy. Man-Eater Buck, that one was one of his cards he played in the Duelist Kingdom arc against where Yugi and his companions were put into the game itself as cards. Also, Morphing Jar, one of those cards he played in the Duelist Kingdom arc, but yeah, just once, because since you can play this just once because of the ban list. It's banned, it's limited, so you can just play it once. And then Electric Lizard, also one of his main cards that he used in the Duelist Kingdom era. And then Puppet Master. That one was of his monsters with one tribute, which he I think just put once into the duel in the Battle City arc, namely against the Yami Marek, but I'm not sure about that one. I think he took it just this once, not against Yugi, or later in the Dawn of the Duel arc. I'm not sure whether he used that one again, but it was very handy to summon more monsters from the graveyard, especially Fiend type. I think this is effect. And Sengan, also that one he played against in the duel against Yugi. Then the Magician's Head. That one also one of his cards from Duelist Kingdom, Goblin Zombie. He took this one, I think, against in the very duel he played against Yami Marek, which I call the Forbidden Duel because it wasn't part of the Battle City tournament. Gurnia, I'm sure that he played this one also against the Yami Marek in the Shadow Games against Yami Marek. Then there's two cards, monster cards, that he didn't use in particular, but those were the part of his trap cards, because he had Dark Spirit of the Silent and the field spell card which he used for his Destiny boards, and those had two ghosts in it, and one of the two of these ghosts are now had been made into monster cards. So as a result of that, it's quite clear that they put it this way. So we take it also into this deck. Not that bad with stats with 1600 attack. Might come in handy. I'm not sure about the special effect, but I'm eager to read it out. But as I already mentioned, he had these monsters in terms of his field magic card. Then And the Doll of the Demise, that was one of his cards he used to activate ectoplasma, I think. Maybe I'm mixing it up because also one of the antagonists of the Velocity arc, namely Arcana, used it in this way, but I'm not sure whether Yami Bakura used it also just for his magic card, but I'm quite sure that he had this one in his deck. Then Diabond Colonel, that was a card that he particularly used in the Dawn of the Duel and the last arc from the first era of Yu-Gi-Oh! And of course the Skull Knight Rider. I think he used that one 2 times with very good stats, 1900 attack and 1800 defense. Then we're coming upon boss monsters, Dark Necrophere and Dark Ruler Hades. There were those 2 boss monsters that he used very often, especially Dark Necrophere. Yeah, and with these he mainly tried to win the duels, besides his Destiny boards, of course. So we are coming to the spell cards. Spell cards he were basically based around his Destiny boards, but he had also a couple of other ones that he did use against Yami Marek. First, Chain Energy, which he did not use, especially in a duel, but he had it in his hand in the Duelist Kingdom to distract the guards of Pegasus to possibly free Mokuba and Kaiba, Sato Kaiba. So he was together with Tristan searching for them. And as the guards went in, he tried to cope with them by throwing this card into their faces. And also I think he did try to overcome them with sort of shadow spell through his Millennium Ornament. And this magic or the spell cards was getting real powers as a result of that. Then Spiritism, that was one. I think he used that one in the Battle City arc. Of course, the normal Bakura's favorite card, Change of Heart, which he used in the Duelist Kingdom arc. The Spirit Messages, I'm just searching for them. That was like that. I N A, and of course a trap card to Destiny board to activate these cards or to get them from the deck. Final. There we go. Yeah. So the other way around. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, just like that. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, he used that in the first duel against Yugi, which he tried almost succeeded in beating Yugi with this sort of strategy. But almost is almost, guys, so he did not succeed because Yugi was summoning Slifer at the end and he had no defense. anymore. So there we go. And then, as I already mentioned earlier, in relation to the Doll of the Mice, the ectoplasmer, the Dark Door, to slow Yugi strategy with monster attacks a little bit off. Dark Spirit Mastery, which he did not use, especially this card wasn't existing in the anime, but is directly related to the Destiny boards. Shallow Grave. Yeah, that one I'm not very sure. I think in the duel against Bones and his companions at the cemetery he used that one. Pot of Greed, one of those staples which many duelists had in their decks. Then is on his field spell card. I'm not quite sure about how you translate that in German. It's finstere Zuflucht. I think it is dark, something like that, dark demise or something like that. Yeah. Then Dark Designator, of course, which he did play in the very duel against Yami Marek, and tried to steal his Winged Dragon of Ra of him, in combination with this card Exchange. Yeah, another one of those. Primate Boreal to get one of his fallen monsters back, and of course one of the staples, Monster Reborn. That was his spell cards. Now onto his traps. Yet of course the Destiny board, as I already showed you guys before. Then the Zoma, Spirit Zoma, which he was used in the Dawn of the Duel arc. Dark Spirit of Sadate, of course, 2 times. He used it 2 times, so I put it in a logical way 2 times in his deck. Then Multiple Destruction to get a little bit draw power, also 2 times. I did put it in his deck. Then just Desert. This was one of his trap cards which he used in the Duelist Kingdom and almost succeeded by beating off Yami Yugi. Then Fiend's Hand Trap Mirror. I think he used that one also in the Duelist Kingdom arc, but I'm not quite sure about that one. Maybe, perhaps also in the one of the other ones. Then of course Spirit of Earthbound Spirit. It was one of those trap cards that he used in the Battle City arc. Then also Curse Royal. He had, I think, a little bit similar cards with similar effect to beat off one's magic or trap card, which has the ability to destroy one magic or trap card. And last but not least, the I think it is called Punishment of the Doomed. That's not a card. It was especially as a loose card in the anime, but he had that very graphic as he was playing his Destiny boards. So I put it also in there. Hence, there were a couple of other cards which are just anime exclusively used, but not are printed from Konami. So yeah, it makes quite sense to add these ones in his deck instead. So I hope you guys enjoyed this sort of character deck profile from Yami Bakura, which was, as I already said, one of my favorite antagonists from the first arc. Hope you guys enjoy, subscribe, thumbs up, and yeah, ring the bell for more content of me, and to see you in the next video. See you then. Bye.